serial killers haunt our nightmares, their body counts chilling proof of human darkness. The average claims 10 lives, but some shatter that grim benchmark. Welcome to Buried Secrets, where we unearth truths too horrifying to ignore. Today we confront America's most notorious serial killers, monsters like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Samuel Little, whose crimes redefine terror. Hit subscribe, brace yourself, and let's delve into their twisted legacies. Buried Secrets exposes the shadows others avoid. From charming predators to cryptic phantoms, these killers evaded justice, exploiting trust and systemic flaws. Why did they kill? How did they escape so long? We begin with a charismatic predator whose charm masked evil, Ted Bundy. Born November 24, 1946 in Burlington, Vermont, Theodore Robert Bundy was raised by grandparents who hid his mother's identity, passing her as his sister. In 1951, his mother, Louise Cowell, moved him to Tacoma, Washington, marrying Johnny Bundy, whose name Ted adopted. Intelligent and charming, Bundy studied psychology at the University of Washington, but isolation and dark impulses festered. On January 4, 1974, he attacked Karen Sparks in Seattle, leaving her permanently injured, launching a spree across Washington, Oregon, Utah, and Colorado. Bundy lured women by feigning injury or posing as authority, using his charisma to disarm. He assaulted, killed, and sometimes desecrated bodies, evading notice with a calm demeanor. Arrested in Utah in August 1975 after a traffic stop revealed suspicious tools, he escaped custody twice. His second escape, December 30, 1977, led to Florida, where on January 15, 1978, he invaded Florida State University's Chi Omega sorority. At 2:45 a.m., he bludgeoned Margaret Bowman and Lisa Levy to death, severely injuring Kathy Kleiner and Karen Chandler. Weeks later, he killed 12-year-old Kimberly Leach. Arrested February 15, 1978, in Pensacola, driving a stolen car, Bundy's 1979 trial captivated the nation, televised to millions. Representing himself, he exuded arrogance, but was convicted of the Chi Omega murders and Leach's killing, receiving 3 death sentences. Confessing to over 30 murders, Bundy was executed January 24, 1989, at 42. Why did women idolize him? Did his charm delay justice? Share your thoughts below. Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer, born May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, showed early warning signs, dissecting dead animals, fascinated by decay. Raised in a strained household, his parents' divorce at 18 deepened his alienation. On June 18, 1978, Dahmer committed his first murder, luring hitchhiker Stephen Hicks to his Ohio home, killing him with a dumbbell after drinking. He dissolved the body in acid, a method he'd perfect. After a failed stint at Ohio State and a dishonorable Army discharge for alcoholism, Dahmer lived with his grandmother in Wisconsin, his behavior spiraling. Arrested for indecent exposure in 1982 and lewd conduct in 1986, he killed again in November 1987, strangling Stephen Tuomi in a hotel. Between 1987 and 1991, he murdered 15 more men, luring them with money or alcohol, drugging, strangling, and dismembering them. Dahmer's necrophilia and cannibalism, including attempts to create zombies by injecting acid into victims' brains, horrified the world. On May 27, 1991, 14-year-old Conorak Synthosamphone escaped Dahmer's apartment, but police, misled by Dahmer's claim of a drunken lover, returned the boy, who was later killed. On July 22, 1991, Tracy Edwards escaped, leading police to Dahmer's apartment, where photos and remains exposed his crimes. Convicted of 16 murders in February 1992, Dahmer received 941 years. In November 1994, inmate Christopher Scarver killed him in prison. Why did police ignore Synthosamphone? Was Dahmer's insanity plea valid? Drop your thoughts. Samuel Little. Samuel Little, born June 7, 1940, in Reynolds, Georgia, became America's most prolific serial killer, with 93 confessed murders. Raised by his grandmother, his childhood was unstable, marked by frequent moves and petty crimes. By 16, he was arrested for burglary, the first of dozens of charges: assault, theft, kidnapping. Yet he often served short sentences, slipping through justice's cracks. From the early 1970s, Little targeted marginalized women, sex workers, addicts, homeless, strangling them with his hands, leaving minimal evidence. In September 1982, Little was acquitted of Melinda LaPree's murder in Mississippi and Patricia Mount's in Florida, a catastrophic oversight. He roamed states like California, Texas, and Ohio, killing undetected as coroners mislabeled deaths as overdoses. Arrested September 5, 2012 in Kentucky for narcotics, DNA linked him to three 1980s Los Angeles murders: Carol Alford, Audrey Nelson, Guadalupe Abadasa. Convicted September 25, 2014, he received 4 life sentences. In November 2018, Little confessed to 93 murders, detailing victims with eerie precision, sketching their portraits. Over 60 were confirmed, surpassing all known U.S. serial killers. His victims' marginalization delayed investigations, a fact he exploited. Little died December 30, 2020, at 80, unremorseful. How did he evade capture so long? Did society fail his victims? Comment below. Zodiac Killer. In the late 1960s, Northern California trembled under the Zodiac Killer's shadow, a self-named predator who taunted police with ciphers. On December 20, 1968, he shot Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday on Lake Herman Road, targeting lovers' lanes. His cryptic letters to newspapers, signed with a crosshair symbol, demanded publication, threatening more deaths. Claiming 37 murders, he's officially linked to 5, plus 2 attempted killings, targeting couples in secluded spots. The Zodiac ciphers, like the 340, baffled experts until December 5, 2020, when codebreakers decrypted it, revealing his disdain for execution, but no identity. A 13-symbol cipher, possibly his name, remains unsolved. Survivor Michael Mageau described a hooded figure with a crosshair emblazoned chest. In October 2021, the Casebreakers team named Gary Francis Post, a deceased Air Force veteran, as the killer, but the claim was debunked. Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted sex offender, remains the only official suspect, though evidence is inconclusive. Why does the Zodiac fascinate us? Was the case mishandled? Share your view. Ed Gein. Born August 27, 1906, in La Crosse County, Wisconsin, Edward Theodore Gein's horrors inspired fiction like Psycho. Raised by an abusive mother and alcoholic father, Gein idolized his mother Augusta, whose death in 1945 unmoored him. His brother Henry's 1944 death in a fire, possibly at Gein's hand, marked his descent. On November 15, 1957, hardware store owner Bernice Worden vanished in Plainfield. Gein, seen with her, became a suspect. Police found Worden's decapitated body hanging at Gein's farm, alongside Mary Hogan's remains, a tavern owner missing since 1954. Human skulls, skin masks, and furniture crafted from corpses littered the property. Gein confessed to exhuming bodies resembling his mother from graves and killing Worden and Hogan, pleading not guilty by insanity. Diagnosed with schizophrenia, he was deemed unfit for trial until 1968, when he was convicted of Worden's murder and returned to a mental hospital. Gein died July 26, 1984, at 77. Why did he mimic his mother? Did isolation breed his madness? Drop your thoughts. John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy, born March 17, 1942 in Chicago, earned the moniker Killer Clown for murdering 33 young men and boys. Despite a strict, abusive father, Gacy sought normalcy, managing KFC restaurants and marrying in 1964. That year, he had homosexual encounters, a prelude to his May 1968 sodomy conviction for assaulting a teen. Sentenced to 10 years, he was paroled in 18 months, returning to Chicago. As Pogo the Clown, Gacy performed at children's parties, masking his darkness. From 1972 to 1978, he lured victims to his home, posing as a cop or offering jobs, then assaulted and strangled them, gagging them with underwear. On December 11, 1978, Robert Piest's disappearance led police to Gacy, uncovering 29 bodies under his house and 4 in the Des Plaines River. Convicted of 33 murders, Gacy was executed May 10, 1994. How did his charm deceive so many? Was his insanity plea justified? Comment below. Phantom Killer. In spring 1946, Texarkana's Twin Cities faced the Phantom Killer, dubbed the Moonlight Murderer. On February 22nd, he attacked Jimmy Hollis and Mary Jean Larry in a lover's lane, pistol-whipping Hollis and assaulting Larry, who survived to describe a masked figure in a burlap sack. Over 3 months, he killed 5 in 8 attacks, targeting couples with a .32 caliber gun, striking every 3 weeks. Panic gripped Texarkana. Curfews, armed patrols, and 400 suspects yielded no convictions. The final attack, May 3, 1946, killed Virgil Starks. Speculation pointed to Earl McSpadden, possibly murdered and placed on train tracks, but the case remains unsolved. The 1976 film, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, cemented its legend. Was the Phantom one killer? Why no arrests? Share your view. These serial killers, Bundy's charm, Dahmer's depravity, Little's body count, Zodiac's riddles, Gein's madness, Gacy's clown mask, Phantom's shadow, scarred history. Their crimes expose police failures, societal neglect, and our fascination with evil. Were they monsters or products of broken systems? Why do we obsess over them? Drop your thoughts, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for more buried secrets. Next, we'll unearth another grim truth. Keep watching the shadows.